You finally get the promotion, the new title, the bigger salary, the corner office, the respect from colleagues. You feel successful. You feel good about yourself. You feel like you've made it. Then a year later, corporate restructuring eliminates your position, or the economy crashes, or new management comes in. Suddenly, that good feeling is gone. The success vanishes. The identity you built around that title crumbles, and you're left wondering, who am I now? We all do this. We build our lives on shifting sand. We call external things good: money, status, relationships, health, job titles, social media followers, the perfect body, the right house, the impressive career. And when we lose them, and we will eventually lose them, our sense of self collapses because we built our worth on things that were never ours to keep. But what if there was a different way? What if you could locate a source of goodness so internal, so fundamental, so unshakable, that no market crash, no job loss, no broken relationship, no health crisis could ever touch it? The Stoics made a radical, life-altering claim. There is only one true good: virtue, excellence of character. And everything else, literally everything else, is just a tool, not a goal. In the next 6 minutes, I'm going to show you what this means practically, how it transforms how you measure success, how it makes you unbreakable, and how it's the only thing that can never be taken from you. Stay until the end, because I'm going to give you a daily practice. 4 questions you can ask yourself every night that will slowly shift your entire life from fragile to unbreakable. My name is Mind Armor, and this is the ancient secret to a life that can't be broken. Let me start with a story that illustrates this perfectly. The story of 2 ships. Imagine 2 ships setting sail. Ship A is beautiful. Gleaming decks, giant impressive sails, polished exterior. Everyone who sees it is impressed. This is a successful ship. Ship B is plain, even a bit battered. Nothing special to look at. The decks are weathered, the sails are functional but not impressive. Nobody's taking photos of this ship. But here's the difference. Ship A has a rotten hull. Hidden beneath all that beauty, the foundation is weak. Ship B has a hull forged of iron, solid, unbreakable, built to last. They both encountered the same fierce storm, massive waves, brutal wind, the kind of storm that tests everything. Ship A is shattered. All that beauty, useless. The impressive sails, destroyed. The gleaming decks, at the bottom of the ocean. Its beauty was its weakness. Ship B is rocked, battered. Water crashes over the deck. The storm is brutal, but the ship holds. It may not look pretty, but it's unbreakable, because the hull, the foundation, is solid. Your external achievements are the sails and decks, your job, your money, your status, your appearance. Nice to have, impressive to others, but fragile. Your character, your virtue, is the hull. It's the only thing that determines whether you survive the storms of life intact. Most people spend their entire lives polishing the decks while the hull rots, building impressive exteriors on weak foundations, and they wonder why one storm destroys everything. The Stoics built iron hulls, and that's what I'm going to teach you to do. Comment below right now, "Building my hull." Make that commitment, because this is where real strength comes from. Now, let me explain what the Stoics meant by virtue, because this word gets misunderstood. Most people think virtue means being nice, being good, following rules, being morally superior. That's not what the Stoics meant at all. The Greek word is arete. It means excellence, excellence of character. It's your ability to use reason to make excellent choices with whatever materials you're given. Virtue is not a feeling. It's a skill, a practice, something you build through consistent action. The Stoics identified 4 cardinal virtues, 4 forms of excellence that make up the unbreakable core. Virtue 1. Courage. Not the absence of fear. That's not courage. Courage is the will to do the right thing despite fear, to have the difficult conversation, to stand up for what's right when it's unpopular, to face challenges instead of avoiding them, to be honest even when lies are easier. That's courage. Virtue 2. Justice. Treating others with fairness, kindness, and integrity, especially when it's inconvenient, when they can't do anything for you, when nobody's watching, when it costs you something. That's justice. Virtue 3. Temperance. Self-control, moderation, mastering your desires instead of being mastered by them, choosing the right amount, not the most amount, discipline over indulgence, long-term satisfaction over short-term pleasure. And virtue 4, wisdom, the practical knowledge of what truly matters and what doesn't, understanding what's in your control and what isn't, seeing clearly, thinking rationally, making good decisions consistently. These 4 virtues, this is the good life. Not money, not status, not pleasure, not comfort. This, excellence of character. And here's why this changes everything. This is the only thing that is always 100% within your power. It can never be taken from you by any external event. A tyrant can take your freedom, but they cannot force you to be cowardly. You can still choose courage. A disease can take your health, but it cannot take your courage in facing it. You still control how you respond. A betrayal can end your relationship, but it cannot make you act without integrity. You still choose how you treat others. An economic crash can take your money, but it cannot take your character. You still decide who you are. This is the unbreakable core, the thing that can't be destroyed by circumstances, the foundation that holds no matter what storm comes. Now let me show you the difference between 2 scorecards, 2 ways of measuring success. One makes you fragile, one makes you unbreakable. Most people live by the external scorecard. Did I get the promotion? Do I have more followers than last month? Did I buy the right car? Do people respect me? Am I making enough money? Do I look successful? This scorecard is completely fragile. It's controlled by luck, by other people, by circumstances you don't control. One piece of bad news can wipe out your entire sense of success. The Stoic lives by the internal scorecard. Did I act with integrity today? Was I brave in that difficult conversation? Was I fair to people who couldn't help me? Did I exercise discipline with my time? Did I treat others justly? Did I face my fears with courage? This scorecard is unbreakable. You are the sole judge. You can choose to win every single day, regardless of what happens to you, regardless of outcomes, regardless of what others think. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Two people get laid off on the same day from the same company. Person A uses the external scorecard. Their entire identity was their job, the title, the salary, the status. When that's gone, they fall into despair, bitterness, self-pity. They see themselves as a failure. Their world is shattered. They can't function. They're broken. Person B uses the internal scorecard. They feel the fear. They feel the disappointment. It's real. It hurts. But then they ask a different question. Not why did this happen to me, but how can I handle this virtuously? Courage. They face the job search head-on instead of hiding. Justice. They sent a gracious goodbye email, not burning bridges, treating others well even in difficulty. Temperance. They manage their severance wisely instead of panic spending. Wisdom. They see this as a redirection, not a personal failure, an opportunity to reassess, not a verdict on their worth. Person B doesn't have a job, but according to the Stoics, they're already successful, they're already good, because they're exercising excellence of character. The outcome is secondary to who they're being in the process. Which person would you rather be? Which person survives the storm intact? Comment below, external scorecard or internal scorecard? Which one have you been using? Be honest. Now here's where this gets really powerful. The Stoics had a concept that changes everything. They called it indifference. Everything outside your direct control, your wealth, your job, your reputation, your health, even your body, is neither good nor bad. These things are neutral, no power to affect your moral worth. There are preferred indifference, health, wealth, good relationships. It's natural and rational to want these. Work toward them. But they're not good. They're just preferred tools. There are dispreferred indifference, sickness, poverty, loneliness. It's natural to avoid these, but they're not bad. They're just challenging circumstances. A good carpenter isn't defined by having the best tools. They're defined by what they can build with any tools they're given. You're not defined by your circumstances. You're defined by your character within those circumstances. This is incredibly liberating. When you stop calling external things good or bad, when you stop building your identity on things you don't control, you become unbreakable. You can lose your job and still be good, because your goodness comes from how you handle the loss, not from having the job. You can face illness and still be good, because your goodness comes from your courage in facing it, not from being healthy. You can be rejected and still be good, because your goodness comes from your integrity in how you respond, not from being accepted. The external circumstances are just the raw materials. The virtue is what you build with them. Now let me give you the daily practice that builds this unbreakable core. I call it the daily virtue check. 4 questions you ask yourself every night. Question 1. Courage. Where did I choose the harder right over the easier wrong today? Where did I face fear instead of avoiding it? Where did I do the difficult thing because it was the right thing? Question 2. Justice. Did I treat everyone I encountered with fairness and respect? Even people who couldn't do anything for me? Even when it was inconvenient? Even when I was frustrated? Question 3. Temperance. Where did I practice self-control? Where did I choose discipline over indulgence? Where did I master my impulses instead of being mastered by them? And be honest, where did I fail? Where did I indulge when I shouldn't have? And question 4. Wisdom. Did I focus my energy on what I could control and let go of what I couldn't? Did I see situations clearly? Did I make decisions based on what matters or what feels urgent? This isn't about perfection. You will fail. You will mess up. That's not the point. The point is conscious practice, daily examination, gradual improvement. Every night you're checking your hull, identifying weak spots, reinforcing the foundation, building strength that can't be taken. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, did this every night. He wrote in his private journal, examining his day, noting where he succeeded in virtue and where he failed. Not to beat himself up, to improve, to build an unbreakable character. He was the most powerful man in the world. He could have focused on his external scorecard, and by that measure, he was incredibly successful. But he focused on his internal scorecard, on his character, on his virtue, on his unbreakable core. And 2,000 years ago, we still read his words, because he built something that couldn't be destroyed. Not his empire, that fell. His character, that endures. That's what's possible when you focus on the one true good. When you build your hull instead of just polishing your decks. Try this tonight. After this video, before you sleep, ask yourself those 4 questions: courage, justice, temperance, and wisdom. Where did you succeed? Where did you fail? What will you do differently tomorrow? Make this your daily practice. For 30 days, see what changes. Not in your external circumstances, in your internal foundation. Here's what I need you to understand. Your character is your permanent possession. Everything else can be lost. Everything. Your money, your health, your relationships, your status, your body, all of it temporary. All of it outside your ultimate control. But your character, that's yours. It's the one thing that you build that can never be taken. The one thing that's always within your power. The one foundation that holds no matter what storm comes. The Stoics said, make your character your masterpiece. Not your career, not your bank account, not your body, not your reputation, your character. That's the work, that's the goal, that's the only thing that matters in the end. Epictetus was a slave. He had nothing. No freedom, no money, no status, no power. Nothing on the external scorecard. But he became one of the greatest philosophers in history because he focused on the one thing he could control: his virtue, his excellence of character, his unbreakable core. He wrote, "You are not your body. You are not your possessions. You are your capacity for moral choice. That's you. That's your essence. And that can never be taken." Right now, make a decision. Will you keep building your life on shifting sand, on external things that can be lost, on circumstances you don't control? Or will you start building on the unbreakable foundation, on virtue, on character, on the one true good? Comment below, my character is my masterpiece. Make that declaration. Commit to the daily virtue check. Share this video with someone who's built their life on sand and needs to discover the rock. Subscribe to Mind Armor for more Stoic wisdom that builds unbreakable lives. Because this is just the beginning. There's so much more to learn about building a life that can't be broken. Stop chasing things that can be lost. Stop building your identity on circumstances. Stop polishing decks while your hull rots. Start building the one thing that can't be taken: your character, your virtue, your unbreakable core.